So you're looking to buy a BMW G20 M340i, but you don't know where to start? Today we're going to talk about the options you should know before buying a G20 M340i. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content about the G20 M340i. One of the most discussed options on the M340i is going to be the ZTK cooling and high performance tire package. The easiest way you will be able to tell is how big the disc brake is going to be, your rotor is going to be, as well as a subtle difference will be how big the caliper actually is. Mine does not have it, and I'll post up the rotor size in somewhere here. Another way to tell is that the notch right here will also be bigger, as well as you'll have like I said, a breaker disc for heat distribution and dissipation. That's really going to be advantages for you to be on the track, so that your brake is not gonna fade as early as the regular model, which is what I have. But if you're talking about as a daily driver, I don't think it really matters. This brake setup that I have currently is pretty good as what it is. And also the car is going to come with a bigger cooling, or actually a separate cooling system underneath the car. That means you don't really have skid plate to protect it. However, just something to keep in mind that if you're going through like gravel, then you may not want it exactly. As well, lastly, because it's the cooling and high performance tire package, I believe also comes with a PS4S all around. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be the difference, major difference, if you option or the car has option for the ZTK package. For the next option, let's talk about the headlights, which is a major upgrade as well. Easiest way you'll be able to tell it's by the side emblem, or what is engraved there. You can see BMW laser. That means it's option for laser headlights. It comes with adaptive headlights if it's laser. I'm not 100% sure about their standard LED, but if adaptive means that whichever direction your steering wheel is pointing towards, the light will adjust and point towards that direction slowly. And another way you'll be able to tell it's the light bar, how it's constructed. You see how mine's going like up this way, up this way. That's also an indication you'll have laser headlights. But then also another way you can tell, it's the symbol that's right inside, basically saying it's the laser and don't stare right into them. I cannot really do a side-by-side comparison because I don't have one on hand that's only have the regular LED. But from my experience, the laser headlight has been helpful. It also comes with anti-glare function that you can code it in, and basically it's not gonna, well, it's gonna deactivate the laser high beam function when it senses there's oncoming traffic to you, which is extremely helpful when you're going out on the countryside road. I have them, I love them, but just that I cannot do a side-by-side comparison. I can't really comment on how well the regular LED performs. Next, let's jump into the interior. We're gonna be able to tell what kind of option the car has from the interior, actually more than when we're at the outside, or more expensive packages from the inside than on the outside. First, let's start with the steering wheel. We have these three buttons right here. One is gonna activate the cruise control. The other one's changing the cruise control mode. Let me show you how. So I'm just gonna press on cruise control, and you can see it says assisted driving on the right hand side and distance control on the left hand one. There actually are three options of cruise controls. The first one is going to be like you see earlier, distance control. That's your regular adaptive cruise control. The second one is the assisted driving, I believe, right? Driving, that's gonna be your regular adaptive cruise control with steering, that the car is gonna steer for you. And the hidden option of the third one, as you can see right now, there is a little camera right here that's blinking. That's your driver assistant camera. It'll activate, or I should say the third option is gonna activate when the car senses that there is a traffic jam that you are currently going through. If you are in assisted driving mode, you will just click on the mode button to go into that, and the car will drive for you basically, and your hands don't even have to be on the steering wheel. But the car, of course, is going to give you a disclaimer that you have to keep your eyes on the road, you should not be fooling around, and intervene the vehicle operation as needed. So that's going to be the third one. All that being said, when you see these three buttons right here, that means you have DAP, which is driver assistant professional. That's going to have the traffic jam option pop up when you are in traffic jam situation. Do I think it's useful since I have the option? Yes, 100%. I think it's really useful, especially I live in a big city or a major city. I also travel to downtown quite often, or used to travel downtown quite often, that I'll use the self-driving, so-called, pretty often when I'm in traffic jam on the highway. I should probably say that it's specifically helpful if you're on the highway, because when you are going through traffic light, the car does not register well with traffic light. Where is the line? When it doesn't sense there is a line, let's say if you're going through an intersection, it kind of just steer away where it's not supposed to go. So I wouldn't advise using in the city, but if you're on highway, 100% very well with it. But just also disclaimer, if simply because you have more sensors that's working for you, that's why it is able to achieve the self-driving experience for you. There are more sensors that can potentially go wrong. My personal experience is that my front bumper got scraped at the parking lot, and something fell off, caused the self-driving or any cruise control other than the regular adaptive distance control that was still working. Turns out it was the short range sensor on the right front that fell off its bracket. I have the means and I am able to fix it myself, so it didn't cost me much. Actually didn't cost me any money at all. Just push it back into the bracket. But if you don't know how to do that, if you don't have the scan to even know which one of the sensors went wrong, then you are expected to pay $500 to $1,000 to fix it. Something to keep in mind at. Let's move from the steering wheel to our center console. As long as you see these two, this one and this one, that means you have PAP, which is Parking Assistant Plus. I believe that's what it's called. Could be Parking Assistant Pro, not sure which one. So I have already activated. You just simply press on it once, and then I will activate the parking view. So the left one right here is just your regular rear view camera, and the right one is the 360 camera. Whenever I'm parking, I use the left one, which is your regular rear view camera. I found myself using it more often than the right one. But whenever you're going through a drive-through, for example, I think, I'm not sure, because I'm short, I'm 5'6", maybe that's why I realize the car has a lot of blind spots. I'm not going to be able to see where the curbs are at. So the 360 camera really does a good job indicating where the curbs are at, so I don't curb my wheel, or I just don't accidentally go onto a curb. So that's a 360 camera, and there are actually way more options than you think. There is the automatic parking. which I'm gonna show you a clip later on about how it does. You can be the judge of how well it parks with automatic parking. I'm not gonna say anything about that so that I don't spoil it. And we are gonna just drag, I believe it's dragging from this side. Yes, we are gonna have your car wash view, so when you go onto a rail that you don't accidentally just go off rail. Never use it, to be honest. And next one is gonna be 3D view. This is something cool, but I've never really find myself using it as it's designed to. So I'll just scroll. I have gesture control, that's why you see earlier something right here. I'll just scroll and then it's gonna tell me a 360 view of my car, of what's my surrounding looks like. Like I said, this is something cool, but I have never used it once to assist me in actually parking my car. Yes, I do park like a jerk because the sun was facing the other way. I had to be like this so that I can film this video. But yeah, I think I'll let you be the judge of if PAP is worth the money. I think the 360 camera alone is worth it for me, just because I'm short though. And lastly, the option I want to discuss about, it's gonna be the hue or heads-up display. That's right here. I found it really useful. I have almost never looked at the dashboard, as I don't really need to. You can also adjust it to the height and rotate the angle how you would like it to be. I think it's something nice to have, but I don't think it's a deal breaker if you cannot have it with your pre-owned purchase, because you do have the live cockpit that's gonna tell you bright and clear what your speed is and your gear, fuel level and whatnot, which the heads-up display only tell you the speed and the speed limit at the road you're traveling. By the way, it's also right here to tell you the speed limit of the road that you're traveling. And the next option I would like to talk about, it's the adaptive suspension. Mine does not have it. If the car does have it, it's gonna have it somewhere in this area saying adaptive. I believe it's a button. Like I said earlier, mine does not have it, so I cannot comment on it, how well it performs. But just from my experience, without adaptive suspension, I really don't think it's a problem for me to daily drive it or just spirited driving. I think the car, it's stiff enough on the stock form to perform how I wanted it to be. Yes, it can be better, but it's really not a big deal not to have that option. For daily driving usage, I don't see it as too stiff, but it's also stiff enough for me to handle how I want to maneuver corners and whatnot. So is this something that's nice to have? Yes, 100%. Is it something that's necessary? Personally, I can't comment on it, but I don't think so. I'm happy with how the car is currently set up.
Another option that most likely people are gonna love is the M Performance muffler. Mine does not have it, and the easiest way you'll be able to tell is to look underneath to see if you see it's engraved M Performance, and you do have that option on the vehicle. But most people would opt for an aftermarket exhaust if they have the original one. To me, this doesn't matter too much unless you really just want to go for the OEM plus for everything. Then this may be something you want to consider off.
As a bonus to you, there is also this is a wireless charging pad. I have an iPhone. It overheats the iPhone really quickly, and the charge rate is really slow. I've never find myself using it, nor will I ever use it, as I don't think I should or it would, because it just overheats the iPhone really quickly. If you have an Android, probably it's gonna be good for you. But if you do have an iPhone, I'll say this is not something you need to regret not getting if you cannot get it with your pre-owned purchase. Not something that's necessary. And lastly, I think I want to talk about the options we've discussed so far, as well as my opinions on them. The first one being ZTK cooling and high performance tire package. I think it's worth it if you are going to the track often, you're a track monster, then it's something for you. But for regular daily driving, spirited driving, I don't think it's necessary to have them. It's not gonna make your car go any faster with it, but it is extra cooling. And the second one being laser headlight. I have them, I love them. Cannot comment on it too much about the LED headlights from the factory because I don't have them for a side-by-side comparison, but mine does have adaptive laser headlights, so when you turn the steering, the light output's gonna point towards that way. If you steer this way, light output's gonna go towards that way. I think it's something that's really nice to have with the laser headlight, as well as the auto high beam function and anti-glare, but it may not be something you want to primarily focus on if you're looking for the perfect car. And the third one being adaptive suspension. I don't have it. I don't think it's necessary. I really like the car, how it handles from the factory with the current setup of suspension. However, like I said, I just can't comment on it too much about how well it performs with the adaptive suspension. And the fourth one being the DAP. I think it depends. If you drive high traffic area often, probably something you want to get. If you just go on like highways often with no traffic, I don't think something necessary. And the fourth one being your parking for PAP. I think it's something nice to have for the 360 camera surrounding view, but if you cannot get it from a pre-owned car, for example, I don't think it's the end of the world, because just the car, it's not specifically like huge for you to park. It's not like a 5 series, not 7 series, still a 3. So, but just letting you know, like, it's nice to have all these view that's available. Yeah, that's my input on what you should be looking for in terms of an M340i. And lastly, for the people who would like to tune their car, the best model year for you to get is 2020, because in starting from 2021, the factory has locked the ECU. You will have to ship it to Finland to do a femto unlock before you can rewrite the ECU for any tunes to be put on there. And as well, you cannot update the car software through remote software update, because that will also relock your ECU. Something to keep in mind. And the 2020 model year, you'll only have to get a bench unlock. Most performance shop that's partnered with any sort of BMW tuning software will very likely to be able to do it for you. Just ask for a bench unlock, they'll quote you for a price. Likely it's going to be somewhere in the $200 range. Versus, I'm not sure how much that's going to take you. I've seen from, say, 800 USD to $2,000 for a femto unlock. That's something to keep in mind for the people who are looking to tune their car. Let me know what do you think. And that's it for the video. If you made this far into the video, I really appreciate you staying here with me and knowing more about the G20 chassis, specifically the M340i. I was originally planning on doing the same video about common problems with this chassis and this engine specifically, but then I realized it's going to be a 30-minute long video and I really don't want to do that. I will do a separate video probably to be uploaded very, very soon because I already have it, talking about the common problems with this engine and this chassis specifically. So stay tuned and catch you in the next one. Thank you very much and consider subscribing.